Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 5th of September 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Swiss tarot cards today. Let's see what the cards have to say about Sunday and what is coming up. So I'm just going to shuffle these a few times and let's see what is going on. First card is what is this? The Four of Swords, and it's in reverse. Yep. Four of Swords in reverse. The Hanged Man. And the Knight of Swords. Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so the Four of Swords, usually we have a knight lying in a church with either the sword on his chest and three swords kind of dangling over him. And in the background, we've got a stained glass window where an angel comes down and supports. And the card is about taking a time out, taking some time to reflect and to weigh up your options, to see what thinking and what ideas work for you and which ones have merit and which ones don't. It's also about meditation and recharging yourself spiritually, realizing that not everything in life is logical and that you can't figure out every little thing, even if you spend a lot of time on it. Some things are outside of your control, and that is okay because you have the support of the universe, you have spiritual guidance, and in conjunction with that, and by connecting with that energy, you'll be able to figure it out. You don't have to worry about every little thing, and you can rest assured that things are moving forward. The card is in reverse, and what I feel here with this card is that you may get this sense that something is not flowing. You may feel like there's an obstacle, like you've hit a wall in terms of your thinking or in terms of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And things that are easy on other days may seem challenging or difficult. Suddenly, no rhyme or reason out of the blue. And I also think that you may feel like you're on your own, like you don't have this connection to source guiding you. So you're by yourself trying to figure it all out. It doesn't make sense. And I get the feeling that you may be a little bit frustrated and you may even go into self-pity mode. That, why do I have to figure everything out by myself? Why are things so difficult for me? Why aren't things moving the way I had planned? And it's that frustration that builds up and says, only I am ever blocked in life. Everyone else has a perfect life. It's just me who suffers. Okay? So it's this faulty thought that can come in and really make you focus on yourself as this kind of victim. Because things aren't going your way. You could become really extreme in your reaction and make something out of it that it isn't. The good news is that we have the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is about changing your perspective. It's really about changing it around. So when the card is this way up, it's about looking at your actions and seeing that some of them don't work and contemplating that in order to find some answer, find some meaning, and to become enlightened and to find another way forward. When the card is upside down, then the Hanged Man is able to gather his ideas and thoughts, and he's able to translate them into practical actions which are enjoyable and which are going to create real security for himself and for other people in his life. So with both cards here, we've got a time out. We've got the opportunity to sit back, to reflect, and to get some new information because of that. But because this is reversed, it's not, oh, I have the time and I give myself permission to rest and to meditate because I hope that I will see things differently and I will become enlightened. The message today is I feel isolated and I feel like I'm not getting any messages. And that's really frightening because I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to become enlightened, I'm trying to create security for myself, and I'm trying to do things in a way that serve me. So it may feel like this block not only is blocking you in the here and now, making your life more difficult, but it may feel like you're missing a major opportunity for growth and personal change and for doing things properly. So you may have this floating anxiety, this dread that something hasn't been done yet. So maybe you've forgotten to fill in a form, or maybe you left the house and you didn't turn the oven off, or where are your keys? What am I supposed to do? There's this sense of anxiety and helplessness, and suddenly that you're not being guided. Now, the great thing about this is both cards are about connection with Source and doing things differently so that things open up. So if you do have this anxiety and the fear, then you can actually transform that into fuel to force you to sit down and to try and connect with your higher self for a minute or 5 minutes or whatever it is you want to do, especially if you struggle with a spiritual practice. If you do not like to meditate, the cards are saying this is the day to try, because something does change. Either you notice that there's a spiritual block, you become aware of it, or you start to see your own behavior and how it's problematic in certain ways and how it causes you issues, slows you down, and forces you to take a time out once in a while. So you really have the ability to open up yourself and to look at yourself and to read yourself and to say, what is it that I'm doing that is really not helpful to my personal experience on this planet? So it's about taking ownership about the role you play in your life. And that's very much the opposite of I'm a victim of my circumstances and only I suffer. So it's really, really interesting because there's huge potential to change the perspective around and to take control of yourself by deliberately connecting with spirit or God or the creator or your higher self or your ancestors or your guides, whatever you want to call it. Because at the beginning of the day, there's this really odd feeling of emptiness and a lack of presence. And if you are feeling uneasy, then the cards are saying, please, the best way to resolve this isn't to take action and to run off and to ignore it or to distract yourself. It's to deliberately try and connect with Source, and you can really turn things around quite dramatically, create enlightenment and security and passion. So that's a pretty good deal. As far if the universe made deals, then that would be a really good offer. It's a real opportunity to see things very, very differently. I don't know if you've ever had this feeling, but I sometimes think that, wow, you know, it would be so interesting to just jump into someone's head and to experience the world through their eyes and their experience. You know, other people may feel very, very differently about their existence on planet Earth. Like, for instance, if you have, you know, when you have your lenses out in your eye, there's an operation to, like, if the lens in your eye becomes kind of, if it shifts or it degrades or something, they replace your eye. And my dad, not your eye, the lens in your eye. And my father had that years ago. And I remember him telling me that the lens they took out had a yellowish tinge to it. And the lenses they put in afterwards were obviously crystal clear. I think it was silicone or something, not sure. And he said, I see the whole world differently. And I mean, now that I mentioned that example, I had a similar experience when I had my eyes lasered. You know, you wake up in the morning and suddenly everything is crystal clear. And those kind of experiences really do change everything. It's something so personal and subjective, but it really alters your perception of reality. And that's what you have access to today, the ability to change your reality. Or more importantly, your perception of reality, which is really the key. If you think that life is good and amazing and fun, then it's very likely that you're going to have a lot of those experiences. If your natural resting state or assumption is that life is hard and I have to struggle and suffer, then life is going to meet you halfway and provide the opportunity to have those experiences. And I'm not blaming the person. I'm just saying that we're all made up differently. And that's why I have always been, I've always wanted to look at life from a different perspective, because it would show me where I'm ungrateful and I feel sorry for myself, and really where I'm somewhat blind and I don't see anything and I'm not enlightened. And through someone else's eyes or perspective, that would become crystal clear. So all of those odd, unsettling feelings combine to allow you to really make a spiritual push and to have a breakthrough and to alter your perception of the world. Finally, we've got the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, wow, that's so interesting. I always say the Knights are extreme because they don't know when to act and when not to act. With the Knight of Swords, he doesn't know when to launch into a tirade or when to zip it. He just has no control over his output. But today I'm getting that because he's in an in-between place, he's not the Page of Swords, total inexperience. He's not the King of Swords, total experience. He's in the middle. He's like the middle child. That is a representation of unity in a world of duality. And because you have this unifying potential today, or you're not so certain of your ideas and your world and your thoughts and everything, that you open up and you become willing to learn. It's a Knight of Swords on this day with huge self-awareness. And that self-awareness then says, look at your life. Is it all blocked and are you all alone? And should you feel sorry for yourself? Or is there an opportunity to see things differently and to grow and to build something that you love and adore? And because you're like, you know, if you look at Libra, the scale, if I had to put you somewhere on the scale today, I would put you in the very center on the axis that controls the two arms of the scale. You occupy that unifying pivotal point where you can either look this way or that way. Wow. So you really can change your perception of reality today. Thank you, Knight of Swords. That's amazing. Number-wise, we've got 4 and 12 is 16 and 1 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8, and 8 is strength and power. So if you do have anxiety or if you feel alone, you have the power to reconnect with the thing that really is going to guide you. And then things will look very different. Especially if you've never done it. Like if you've never meditated or if you've never done anything that makes you feel connected to your creativity or source, or you know that moment like when you're painting a picture and you forget time because you're so into the picture, or you're meditating and you feel like you've floated off into the universe and it's an experience and you also lose time. You get absorbed in these moments and experiences, and that strength allows you to take a leap of faith and to say, I don't like to sit and quiet my mind, or I don't like to be reflective or contemplative. I'm going to push through that anxiety and do it anyway, because I know today is a major opportunity to really alter myself in the way I see the world and life. Amazing. So I hope you have a fabulous day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.